Welcome, traders. Welcome to our special series of 3 webinars looking at how the Bungee, the Semaphores can help us with our wavy tunnel trades. I am convinced you will find this very useful. If you are regular attendees to the trading rooms, then you will know some of it, probably most of it, but it won't do you any harm to have a refresher. Please have a notepad handy. If you've got questions, I will try and find time at the end of today's session. If not, then at the end of the final webinar on Wednesday, we will definitely have a question and answers session. So if you've got questions, please make a note. Don't just let them disappear, and bring them up in the final session. Okay. Is everybody happy? Has everybody got an open mind? Yeah? Okay, well, we've a lot to get through, so we will make a start. Okay, so as I say, the material in this course of 3 webinars can be of invaluable benefit to your trading. We're talking about the high probability of events repeating themselves. And in some instances, it's almost guaranteed. You have to remember that nothing is guaranteed in Forex. It's a chaotic and random market. So when we talk about high probability, when we talk about almost guaranteed, there will always be occasions when you get let down. That does not matter. All you need to be a profitable trader is a high percentage of profitable trades that wipes out the negative trades, and your bank balance will grow. So by understanding what's going on with the Bungee and the Semaphores, you'll have greater confidence in your trades. You'll be able to confirm other analysis that you may do, traditional chart patterns, candlestick patterns, Elliott wave counting, harmonic patterns, and of course, especially the wavy tunnel trades. And this hardly needs saying, if a pattern results in an almost guaranteed action by the market, in effect, you're seeing into the future. Okay, so let's make a start. 1 or 2 slides on basics first that I was asked to do for Jody. So we're going to start right at the beginning, and we're going to look at some common abbreviations. Many of you will have seen trades published or trading opportunities that are developing published in the Skype group chat room, and we use abbreviations. You need to know what those abbreviations are, or it'll all be nonsense. Okay. In the second section, we'll be doing a run-through, a pseudo live run-through using Strategy Tester and examining how we can anticipate moves. And then we'll go into supporting trades, how Bungee and Semaphore support the wavy tunnel trades. And then part 3, we'll look specifically at 2 trades that are directly related to the Bungees and the Semaphores. And we'll have our question and answer session. So let's get on with it. These are abbreviations that you will see in the Skype group chat. Just bear with me 1 second, because I don't think that's better. Can I see it? Yes, I can. Good. just got my pointer up. Okay, so easy peasy. Noble semaphore, royal semaphore, upper royal semaphore, lower royal semaphore, upper yellow, lower yellow. Yeah, if you see those initials, that's all it means. Simple as that. Okay, Bungee abbreviations. Upper reversal zone. Yeah, quite simply, that is the top 20% of the bungee channel. Yeah, above the 80 line. Lower reversal zone. The bottom 20% of the channel, below 20. A stretch away is where some of the strands move towards the opposite side of the channel, leaving behind the slower strands at the original side of the channel. Easy so far. A snapback is when those strands that formed a stretch away, yeah, turn over and snap back down to join the slower strands at the other side of the channel. Okay, so this bit down here is not a stretch away. There is nothing on the top side that these have moved away from. All the strands are together at one side of the channel. That's not a stretch away. Okay, a failed snapback is simply the failure belongs to price. Here's a bungee stretch away, here's a bungee snapback, here's the price creating the stretch away, here's price creating the snapback, and it fails to make a new low. That is a failed snapback, and the failure is of price to making a new extreme. Easy peasy. Okay, so once again, if you see those abbreviations in the Skype room, that's what they mean. Wavy tunnel, price to wave, fill the gap, breakout 1, 2, 3, 4, return to the wave. Okay, that's when price is away from the wave and returns to the wave. It might result in a price to wave, where price goes into the gap between the wave and the tunnel, which then results in eventually, after a retrace, in a fill the gap that goes right through to the tunnel. But a return to the wave might stop inside the wave and result in a breakout 3. Okay, not all returns to the waves are price to wave. Price to wave is a specific wavy tunnel trade that ends up in the gap, and it's a forerunner to a fill the gap. That's why there's a difference. Bounce off the tunnel is simply the start of a breakout 4, but it occurs many times without the follow through into a breakout 4. And it usually means price has bounced off the tunnel. Its high probability target is the opposite side of the wave, and it does not need to continue in a breakout 4 or a breakout 2. It can simply turn around and continue in the original direction. So it's a short-term specific where we get a bounce off the tunnel that has a high probability of reaching the far side of the wave. Dead easy. Why is that not moving on? Ah, there we are. Don't know why it didn't move on. Okay, other abbreviations: upper trend line, lower trend line, that's self-explanatory. Divergence, support or resistance line, multiple time frame analysis, MTF. And if you ever get chance in a meeting, throw the bottom one in and confuse it. See how many people ask you what it actually means, whether they're really listening to what you're saying. Talk about TLAs in a meeting and see who questions you. Just for a bit of fun. I've seen it done. Okay, so Bungee, Semaphores and wavy tunnel. This is starting now with the meat, the nitty gritty. There are a whole host of high probability events involving bungees and semaphores and the wavy tunnel. We will cover some of them. We have not got time to cover them all. Some of them have been covered in previous webinars, but here's a good collection of them for you. Okay. And these we know through observation. Whenever you're doing any sort of analysis, you should be looking at the charts. Yeah. You should be investigating history. You should be using strategy tester if you use MT4 or the equivalent on any other platform, and simply ticking off on a 5-bar gate system how many times your theory comes good and how many times it fails. So through observation, we know that these, what you're about to hear, are high probability. Let's get on with it. Oh, and yes, if you find more, please let me know and we will include it in future presentations. We can add it, everybody can add it to their lists. Okay, here we go then. Royal semaphores, always. Don't forget the what we said. Always means very high probability, probably in excess of 99% in this case. Yeah. Whenever we use the word always, we don't actually mean 100% or trading would be easy. But in this case, it is almost always, always. And here's a chart to show it. Royal semaphores always appear on opposite sides of the tunnel, whether it's an impulsive move or a corrective move. You will never see two royal semaphores on the same side of the tunnel. What does that mean? That means if the conditions are right for getting a royal semaphore, you can trade in the direction of the new royal semaphore with confidence. Okay. Now then, where are we? Number 2, noble semaphores always appear on opposite sides of the tunnel, except during strong moves, when they can stop at or very near to the tunnel. So it's not quite as reliable as the royals. And we'll go back to that same chart and you can see, don't forget there's a noble underneath the royal. There's a grey arrow underneath those purple ones. Yeah, always. Yeah. So opposite, 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 strong move, not quite there. Yeah. Noble semaphores always appear on opposite sides of the tunnel, except during or immediately after a strong move where they can stop inside or very close to the tunnel. Yeah, easy so far, isn't it? You will be able to see these lists later, I think. Right, let's kill that and move on. Yellow semaphores are okay. Bear with me. Just bear with me. Get that out of the way. Yellow semaphores always appear on opposite sides of the wave. There we go. Yellow semaphores always appear on the opposite side of the wave. Yellows are underneath the nobles, yellows are underneath the royals. Yellows appear in their own right. They are always on the opposite side of the wave. So if you need a yellow semaphore, or if you get a yellow semaphore early, you know you can continue trading in that direction on the lower time frames until the yellow semaphore appears on the opposite side of the wave. For example, going up here, yeah, if the yellow semaphore appeared here, no, sorry, that's not a good example. Let's do one. If the yellow semaphore appeared, that's the one I meant to show you, there, you know that that retrace isn't going to a new extreme, and we have to cross the wave to get the yellow semaphore on the opposite side of the wave. It won't stay in the wave, it can't, because it always appears on the opposite side of the wave. It is extremely rare. I can't remember when I last saw it, or if I've ever seen it, where a yellow semaphore does not appear on the opposite side of the wave. So if that was yellow at the time and we started coming down, you would know that we had to go higher to get that yellow semaphore on the opposite side of the wave. Fantastic. Absolutely invaluable information if you want to trade. If this was a 4-hour chart and you wanted to go long on the M15, you'd have a lot of confidence in going long on the M15, knowing that the H4 still needs an upper yellow semaphore. Easy peasy. You can rely on it. Okay. Yellow semaphores are always accompanied by the green bungee in the reversal zone. Always. Yellow semaphores are always accompanied by the green bungee in the reversal zone. Always. There are one or two, well, there is one major exception, and that is during very narrow sideways channels when there isn't sufficient price action to move the green bungee completely to the opposite side of the channel. But you will know when that's happening because you'll be able to see it, and you just apply a bit of common sense. Yeah. But apart from that, yeah, bottom to top, top to bottom, bottom to top, top to bottom. So what does that mean for trading? Well, if you have a yellow semaphore and you're not in a very tight sideways channel, and the green bungee has not yet moved into the reversal zone, then you can continue your trade in that direction at least until the green bungee does arrive in the reversal zone. Conversely, if your green bungee arrives in the low reversal zone, like that down there, and the yellow semaphore has not yet appeared, you can continue trading in that direction at least until the yellow semaphore does appear. So if you're wanting to go long, it will help you prevent you from going long too early. If you're wanting to exit a trade at the best price, it will help keep you in a trade. Yeah, that maybe that little bit longer. Whatever else your analysis says. Okay, let's move on. Relating to the same elements, the green bungee and the yellow semaphore, if price crosses both the wave and the tunnel, you will get a yellow semaphore. And if you get a yellow semaphore, you'll also get the green bungee in the reversal zone. Right? So here we have price crossing the wave and the tunnel. And here we have a green bungee that's not yet made it to the bottom of the channel. And we do not have a yellow semaphore. Yeah, let's move. This is just an example. You can test it for yourself, and you should. Let's move the chart on a bit. This is the same bit of chart. The commitment on that first chart was here. And sure enough, we get a retrace. Most importantly, it fails to take out the previous yellow. And eventually we do get our yellow semaphore and the green bungee in the low reversal zone. So if you were really keen and you went short right there with price crossing the wave in the tunnel, you would have a profitable trade so long as your stop was above the previous yellow. Personally, I would never go short with the red bungee at the bottom of the channel, so that wouldn't be me. I like to go short with the red bungee at the top of the channel, so I would wait for that retrace. Still knowing that at this point we needed a lower yellow semaphore and we need the green bungee in the lower reversal zone. Okay, so that's another aspect. If price, that one matters if price crosses both the wave and the tunnel. Okay, let's move on. We'll keep going with these. Number 6, a bungee failed snapback heralds a change of direction. Yeah, in other words, we expect a continuation of the reversal, a continuation of the correction, or possibly a continuation in the direction of a new move. Let's have a look. Remember what a failed snapback is? It's a stretch away and a snapback that fails to make a new low. Yeah, you will almost certainly take out the previous pivot high. It's all this is another way of describing a 1, 2, 3 reversal. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, and traditionally we are taught that when price crosses 0.2 again, we can trade. But when you add in the bungee, we say once that snapback, that failed snapback, turns around again and kicks in back the other way, then you can go in. So you get a far earlier entry in a simple 1, 2, 3 reversal. And that describes a price to wave, retrace, fill the gap. It describes a 1, 2, 3. It describes an A, B, C. Yeah, you get the picture. And it just helps you know what's going on. Bungee divergence and bungee hidden divergence herald a change of direction. Just the same way, or at least a reversal or a correction, just in the same way that awesome oscillator divergence does. Okay, so here's the top of a move. Here's a slightly lower high on the yellow, a definitely lower high on the green. Yeah, and I believe a lower high on the blue. And that coincides with awesome oscillator divergence. It's just an additional confirmation. If you get bungee divergence, then it's a confirmation of a change of direction usually. Now, if you only get red bungee divergence, it might just be a small correction and a continuation. In this case, we've got bungee divergence for the yellow, the green and the blue. And we expect this to go a lot further. So that's another thing you can look for. I am looking here at these 2 points, and I am seeing a lower low on the red and the blue bungees. Hidden divergence between those 2 points. Yeah, we've got a higher low on price and a lower low on the bungee. It's not reflected in the awesome oscillator, but it gives you additional confidence in this snapback here. And I don't know if you'd spotted it, but that's actually a breakout 3. Okay. Everybody good so far? Is this material that you weren't aware of? If you don't attend the rooms, you might not have been. All these are just using the wavy tunnel indicators as recommended by FX Traders Edge and Jody. Yeah. This should be, all these things should be in your notes. All trading is a case of high probability. If you get a harmonic pattern, the high probability is it reacts in a certain way. If you get end of a wave 2, the high probability is you get a wave 3. That's all trading is. Yeah, if you break out of a channel, the high probability is you go to a new extreme. These are just additional ones that relate to the wave, the tunnel, and the bungee and the semaphores. This one we've done before. The black bungee does not stay in the reversal zone except in a strong move. And you need to check this for yourself. It's just so obvious. It's a sharp reversal. It's a sharp reversal. It's a sharp reversal. It's a sharp reversal every time. Yeah, sharp, sharp, sharp. Except during a relatively strong move with a long series of candles in the same direction, when we can get it flattening out. It's rare. There's another one. It's rare. More often than not, the black bungee will turn around. So do you want to go long with the black bungee at the top? Well, only if you're not too bothered about a bit of a retrace. Yeah, and you've got a strong belief in the direction. Personally, I like to trade with the black bungee at the bottom if I want to go long, and short if the black bungee is at the top. Just makes sense. A snapback is more likely to fail if the green or yellow bungee crosses 50%. You can anticipate the failure. Yeah. Here's a stretch away on this side. And the green bungees, which way are we doing this, has come up to the halfway mark. Let's see what happened next. Oh, sorry, no, that's right. That's this one here is showing you the move up. Well, there's two. The thing is, there's two examples here. There's a stretch away that fails to make a new extreme when it snaps back because the yellow bungees come below. Yeah, and here's a stretch away. Not quite so clear. It's gone up, but the green bungee has moved up slightly past halfway. There would be a better example than that. And we got a failed snap back down again. It failed to take out the low. Here's one down here. Stretch away down. Green bungee crosses the halfway mark. So does the yellow. And the snapback fails to go to a new high. Not a surprise. Yeah. Here's another one. Stretch away up. Green bungee crosses halfway. Snapback fails to make a new low. So you can anticipate when this sort of a move is happening. You can anticipate. Let me just give you, for example, if you get a stretch away for a fill the gap and the green bungee crosses the channel, you can anticipate a retrace and a fill the gap. It's extra confidence in the wavy tunnel trade. Conversely, if the green or yellow bungee stay close to the reversal zone, then a snapback is more likely to make a new extreme. So this we want to see. Yeah. On that first piece of chart, we've got a stretch away of the red and the blue up here, and a snapback down. You can see it's gone to a new extreme down here. Here's a stretch away on this piece of chart in the middle here, and the snapback takes us to a new extreme. Yellow and green stayed high. Yeah. Here's one over here, stretch away up, over here. It could be there or it could be there, depends. We had a double dip. But the point is, look how flat the yellow and green are. That is going to make a new low. Not only did it do it immediately, but it continued with it after the retrace. Okay. So that's just some basic stuff for today. Yeah, we have got time for questions and answers. That only took us half an hour. So we will do that now if you wish. Okay, we've got some charts to hand that we can use. Yeah. So next time we're going to be actually looking at charts and putting all that stuff into practice. And it will take a lot longer than half an hour. So if you've got questions right now, we will address them. Yes, you do, Snorri. You do get the slides. Jodie's asked me to provide her with a PDF of all the screenshots of all the slides. That will be available to you. So will the recording. The recording will be in the normal New York room place and may also appear in as part of the training in that section of the website. Okay, so what I'm going to do then is put some charts up. And we can explore any questions you address. We can address any questions you put forward. Is there a correlation of some amount with the Semaphores printing versus number of candles or timing? There can be, Ralph. Only in that moves between royal Semaphores tend to be within one, sometimes two, of a Lucas number. If not a Lucas, then a Fibonacci. Okay, we can see that if we look at some charts with, let's zoom out, between those, we've got 47 candles between those semaphores. That is exactly a Lucas number. Yeah, we've got 150, which isn't quite, it's gone slightly over. Yeah, is it 150 or 149? 149 maybe. Yeah, and the next nearest Lucas number is no, it's a Fibonacci, isn't it? 144. Is everybody familiar with the Lucas numbers? Okay, it's very much like Fibonacci. You can work it out for yourself. I'll type some in for you, and then you can see it happening. Okay, Fibonacci starts 1, 1. 1 and 1 makes 2, 2 and 1 makes 3, 3 and 2 makes 5, 5 and 3 makes 8, 8 and 5, 13, and so on. Lucas numbers, you ignore the first bit. Starts with a 1. Yeah. Then you put the 3 in, and you continue from there. 1 and 3 is 4. 4 and 3 is 7. Yeah. 11, 18, 29, 47, that's the one we just saw. 76, that is the period for the yellow bungee, deliberately. It's a 76 period stochastic. 123, and so on. 199, etc. And they tend to fall in between the Fibonacci numbers. You can look them up for yourself if you just research Lucas. Okay, so all that, if you want to take a screenshot of those, but you shouldn't need to, you know what you're doing. Do a quick Google on Lucas numbers. Yeah, and that was the question, was the distance between the semaphores. Yeah. Now, obviously, on a higher time frame, if we go to the daily, that there, yeah, is 8 candles. That's a Fibonacci 8, and it's between reds. Yeah, we go down to the H4, it's between royals. That same move. So if you're looking for the top, there is a reasonably high probability that the number of candles between royals will be, give or take one, a Lucas number, or if not, a Fibonacci number. It's not as reliable as some of the other things that we teach, but it does happen. Let's measure another. We might do it up for those nobles down there. Yeah, 37, so that's not far off 34 for a Fibonacci, give or take a couple. 86, that's give or take a couple, that's 89 for a Fibonacci. Yeah, it's not precise, but it's not far off. And that's the one we looked at before, that on the 4 hour, that's I think that is anyway. That one's not quite worked, but you will find there's a reasonably high probability. Let's look at this one coming down here on the hourly chart. Yeah, 95. Yeah, that's a bit out, isn't it? So they don't always work, but it's worth, if you're on a Lucas number or you're on a Fibonacci number, you might find that's the point at which it's going to turn. Do I have a favorite move to look for? I absolutely love breakout threes and fill the gaps. Yeah, a lot of traders absolutely love price returning to the wave. Oh, the red line on the chart. The red line on the chart is quite simply the tunnel, or the middle of the tunnel, on the next higher time frame. So this is an hourly chart. And that is the tunnel on the 4 hour chart. If we measure it, we can show it. Or if we put a horizontal line on it, we can see the line on the 4 hour chart. So that line is going to be, hopefully, the middle of the tunnel. We'll go up to the H4 and see it. They are middle of the tunnel. And I use it just to know where the tunnel is on the next higher time frame. I know that the filter is the wave on the next lower time frame. I know that the wave is the tunnel on the next lower time frame, and the filter on the next higher time frame. I know that the tunnel is the wave on the next higher time frame. And with the addition of that line, I now know that that is the tunnel on the next higher time frame. So by just because you know these things, it just makes it easier to do your analysis and very quickly establish targets. I very rarely use harmonics. And it's simply because of my history. Okay. I can use them. I do know how they work. I know what all the measurements are. I've been through Jodie's training. But I am a real-time trader. So I don't actually project. I'll wait till it gets there and I deal with it when it does. And if it respects the harmonic, all very well and good. And if it doesn't respect the harmonic, all very well and good. Because I'm watching for the actual rollover. And my favorite thing that I look for at the end of a move is the stretch away and the failed snapback, like that. The stretch away and the failed snapback. And that tells me to exit along and go short, or upside down, it tells me to exit a short and go long. Assuming I'm expecting the move to come to an end anyway. Yeah. Now, having said I don't often use harmonics, I do occasionally use them as a confirmation. But first and foremost, I am trading wavy tunnel. Yeah. So a harmonic pattern would simply be a confirmation of a wavy tunnel trade. And those traders at FX Traders Edge that have really got to grips with harmonics are doing very well out of them. Thank you very much. Yeah. And if I was relatively new to trading and had done the harmonics training course, I might actually give them more time than I do. I like to keep my trading simple, and everything I need personally is on here. The wave count is a confirmation, the harmonics are a confirmation, chart patterns are a confirmation, candlestick patterns are a confirmation, Fibonacci levels are a confirmation. Yeah. But I can't take, for example, I can't take a Fibonacci on that move, an expansion on that move and that move, and tell you that I'm going to 100% or 200% or 262% or whatever. Yeah, I just wait till it gets there. So I don't actually worry too much. I very often do AB equals CD. That's very useful, using 100% expansion. And I very often use, as a double check, a Fibo on a move just to see what the retrace actually is. Yeah, but I don't project it and mark a trade entry or a profit limit based on that. Right, question from Dave. You use TradingView charts and they don't have semaphores. Unfortunately, they don't. The source code is available. It's available to anybody who wants to have a go at rewriting it. And there's not a lot I can do about that. We discovered it on MT4, and that's where it is. There is nothing wrong with trading on TradingView and looking at the semaphores on an MT4 platform. And I know some traders that do that. They use, they've bought into trading platforms that they like. They want to stick with them, but they also like the fact that there's a lot of public domain stuff on MT4. So they have two sets of charts. I'm running two at the moment. Yeah, there's FX Pro. You look at the top corner, FX Pro. And if I just click that button there, that's Evolve Markets for the cryptocurrencies. So I've got two MT4 platforms running at the moment. Very often I have three. And that will be the subject of another webinar in the new year as to why I would have a hidden MT4 platform running in the background, minimized, that I very rarely look at. And when that webinar comes up, Jodie will be informing you, and we'll have a look at why I do that. But that's a completely different subject. I guess they don't work on MT5. No, we have had a programmer look at converting them to MT5, and it apparently will involve, I'm not a programmer in MT4 or MT5. I can do a bit, but I don't call myself a programmer. And the conversion would be quite costly, many man hours to actually do it. But if you know somebody, or you can find somebody who's willing to have a look for you, well, the source code is there. MT5 has been very slow to take off because of that lack of backward compatibility. New people to trading might go straight into MT5 thinking they've got the latest and the best, but there's a lot of bespoke custom work done in MT4 that, well, it doesn't matter to me whether it does or it doesn't. I'm using MT4 and I will continue to use MT4 as long as it's available. Yeah, until I'm pushed into a corner and I haven't heard anything. The number of people using MT4 is phenomenal. It would be a big upset if they tried to force us all to upgrade to MT5. Okay, any other questions on bungees and semaphores? Yeah, this has been quite a basic session, just a reminder of what it's all about. If you've any other basics, let's get them out of the way today, so that when we look at the charts tomorrow and Wednesday, we haven't got any unanswered questions. I'll definitely always look at a higher time frame and a lower time frame. If I want to trade the M5 chart, I always look up to find out what's going on in the next higher and the next lower time frame. So I'm looking at the end of a move up here. If I go to the next higher time frame, I can see down here on the next higher time frame, at the moment, we've got Bungee Divergence. Yeah. So I'm looking to see if that red bungee turns over and leaves the divergence intact. Yeah. So that's why that may not be visible on the M5 chart. It isn't. Look, the M5's made a higher high. It's not, that divergence is not there. Yeah. So the next higher time frame and the next lower time frame always tell you something that you cannot see on the current chart. Yeah, this is going higher. Yeah, this is the Aussie card. Make a note, have a look later today. It won't take long. Impulsive move followed by sideways action results in continuation. Basic stuff. Bungee stretcher wave, the red only. Yeah, snap back, higher high. Divergence on the M15 chart says we might go a bit lower first. Yeah, divergence on the M1 chart predicted a bit of a fall. Higher high, lower high, lower high, lower high. So this red candle was predicted. It'd probably go a bit further yet. Wouldn't surprise me if that isn't an A, a B, and a C. And then we go higher. But we are going higher. Do I have time to look at the Euro USD? Yes, I do. Anything in particular? Yeah, what do you want to look at? Are you in a trade? Are you expecting a trade? Have you seen something? Okay, well, you're long. Which time frame are you long on? What's your expectation? Are you H4? Right, now we're getting somewhere. H4. Okay, you're long on the H4. Yeah. So first of all, the Bungee says that's a good idea because it's near the bottom of the channel. Yeah, so there's a bit of a confirmation that it's good. The daily, however, looks like it's still coming lower, doesn't it? So this should be a short-term trade on the H4, relatively speaking. Yeah, it still could be quite a few H4 candles. We need to see what happens with this today's candle on the daily. A, B, C, and then think again. I would think. There's that bounce off the tunnel trade. Look at that. Yeah, remember in the abbreviations we were talking about a bounce off the tunnel, and the target of the far side of the wave, the conservative target, was met in the first thrust. It might go higher ultimately, but short term, that's a nice little trade. Bounce off the tunnel up to the top of the wave. Anyway, we digress. Let's go down to the H1 then and look at this. Right, so the H1 says we're not going too much higher. Yeah, that idea on the daily that we're going up for, let me go back. That idea on the daily that we're doing it A, B, C, I retract that. Now I've looked lower down the time frames because I don't believe we're going to go above that blue semaphore. Not this time. Why? Because if we go down to that, here's that blue semaphore on the daily. Yeah. Anybody who attends the room will tell you why we don't expect to go below. Yeah. Anybody going to have a go? I know there's quite a few people in the room that know why. We need a lower royal, absolutely. And we'll be discussing this on Wednesday, on Wednesday's session. But this chart is telling us that we're going to go below there before we go above there. It may eventually go above there, but we have to get a lower royal first. So somebody earlier asked, do I work on multiple time frames? Oh, Ralph, yes, well, he knows I do. And that's why, because this H1 chart is actually telling me something about what's going on the daily chart. Anybody want to guess? No, not guess. Anybody want, don't press return, type in the box. Type in the box. Are we going down from here? Yeah, to a new low. Or are we going above here, higher first, before we come lower for the royal? So type in a, if you think we're going up from here, type in a U. If you think we're going down from here, bungees have rolled over a bit. That might be an indication. Higher first. Yeah, these guys know. That's the key, Henry. Yes, George, yes, everybody. Excellent. The people who attend the rooms know this. We covered this. Not half an hour ago, we covered it. If price crosses the wave and the tunnel, we expect an upper yellow semaphore, and we expect the green bungee to the, oops, my apologies, to the upper reversal zone. Remember the slide? Make a note of this Euro USD hourly chart. Put a marker on where we are now. Yeah, all you have to do is put a horizontal line, or a vertical line, sorry, would do it, through that candle. And then make yourself a note. Going higher for upper yellow semaphore and green bungee. Yeah, so upper reversal zone. Do that and watch it happen. Yeah, there's your text. Going higher for upper yellow semaphore and green to upper reversal zone. So if you're looking to sell this for the lower royal, this analysis has told you you're going higher first. However deep this retrace is, we've got to go higher first before we come down for the royal. We know that. Do you like that? If you don't attend the trading rooms, do you like that bit of information? Because if you don't employ it, you can make mistakes. You can come out too early or enter too early and not wait for these cycles to complete themselves. This is really powerful stuff, I think. Really, really powerful. I refer to it a lot because it just tells you so much. Okay, let's see what other questions we've got. Yeah, dollars. That means dollars. If we know this is going higher now, yeah, we can look down to the M15, we can look for a retrace, and we can trade long with confidence. Yeah. If we come down and get a breakout 3, come down to the wave and get a breakout 3, with a lot of confidence in going higher, because the hourly chart, let me move that across to that M15 top there, that's the top. That hourly chart, we've made a note, we need to go higher. This is not the end of this move for making a new low. It might be the end of the move for a retrace. The other confirmation we're likely to get, go back to red on this, is the stretch away, with the yellow and green staying high or relatively high. They might come just slightly out of the upper reversal zone, get a retrace, snap back up, new high, snap back up. It's just going to happen, isn't it? It has to. And if price crosses the wave and the tunnel, we know the retrace isn't over until we get a yellow semaphore on the low side and the green bungee to the bottom on the M15 chart, before we go higher on the hourly chart to satisfy what the hourly chart's expecting. It just all nestles in nicely together. You just get used to watching it. Okay, I don't really want to run this recording any longer for the training, but I will stay here once I've stopped the recording. Until past. Okay, if there's any further questions, but I do want to keep the recordings relatively small for the training. On this trade, based on our session this morning, we may expect Bungee divergence signaling the move down on both the M15 and 1 hour chart. Well, if we get the divergence, it's a nice confirmation. It does not always happen. Okay, but yes, watch for it. You certainly should be watching for it. Absolutely. Yeah, but we've got awesome oscillator divergence across the top here now. Down here, we've got Bungee divergence on the red and the blue. So this move down was to be expected. Now, how big the move will be, not sure. Let's go look on the M5. Could be a nice breakout 3. Yeah, at the end of this 5-minute candle, which is just over half a minute to go. The wave isn't as steep as I would like. But we'll be looking for this candle to close above the wave in the filter. We'll be looking for the Bungee snapback to engage. And then we'll be looking for the next candle to continue in the same direction. And it's funny, just as we're saying that, this candle's leapt up for the breakout 3, hasn't it? So there's our new candle. Do I want to trade long with the black and purple bungees in the upper reversal zone? Well, it has to be a very short trade if I do. I'd prefer them to be at the bottom, so I'm not interested in going long right now because the black and purple bungees are at the top. Right, I'm going to shut the recording down because of I want to keep the training session to not much over an hour. But I will stay around. So thank you for listening into part 1. Part 2 will be a lot more interesting, a lot more practical. We'll do some more of this analysing of the actual charts. And we'll be looking at the wavy tunnel trades and how the bungee behaves with them. Okay. So we'll do that all tomorrow, same time, same place. So let's just shut this one down now.